With the predicted release of the Alpha 1 testing for Ashes of Creation predicted to coming next month, a lot of us are excited for what the future holds. One thing that I am personally excited about is gotta be the lore. But before we get into this video, make sure you go ahead and fucking subscribe, because it's free and you can unsubscribe if you don't like me by the end of the video, but you probably will continue to like me because I'm great. Just subscribe now. I do try to post every Monday and Friday, or whenever I decide to post, but most of the time I do. I know I took a break last, but you know, I was sick. I had that coronavirus and everything, so make sure you guys subscribe, put on the bells, like, comment, notate your remarks down below in the comments. But let's go ahead and get right into it. What we are going to get into today is a race in Ashes of Creation known as the Ancients. And we do know a little bit, very little about this so far, but before we talk about this, we will have to talk about the gods of Ashes of Creation. Shout out to the Ashes of Creation wiki for this information. So the 10 deities within Ashes of Creation form the Pantheon of the gods. These gods include the Goddess of Love, Goddess of Creation, Goddess of Fate, which is known as Norland, Goddess of Hope, which is known as Resna, God of Truth, which is known as Sheol. And sorry if I butchered any of the pronunciation under these gods' names, but as of right now, this is what we got. And there is some pretty cool piece of lore that's in here, and there is a lot of this type of stuff for the gods and all that, all the Pantheon and whatnot. So this is the part that I wanted to highlight here today. The story of creation tells us of a race known as the Ancients, created in the likeness of what was once the Ten. The Ten embodied all of their qualities into one race to have stewardship over all of creation. The power of the Ancients grew, and a rift divided the Ten in how to accommodate their new creation. 3 of the 10 separated from the others and began to teach the Ancients the secrets of essence. When the 7 learned of this, a great celestial battle ensued. Aeons passed, and you watched as the fight continued within the celestial kingdom. Some say it was the fight that created the stars and heaven we see today. With every blow between the 10, a star was born. When the battle was complete, the others and the ancients were banished by the 7 into the void. The 7 found the error of their ways and decided to split their qualities into 4 races instead of 1, and this is how the humans, elves, orcs, and dwarves came to be. You watch as the 7 created Vera and placed each of these races within their respective locations. As the story came to an end, a dark figure at the distance grew closer to you until all you could see was the darkness, and you wake up in a sweat after a nightmare. And this was a quote from Stephen Sharif here. And you know, something about this game is the lore is pretty awesome. It says the religion in this game is not an aesthetic. It's more of a motivator, right? So you can go down a light or a dark path, and pretty much just pick what you want to be. You can go through these different religions. I know there's different quests for certain religions and different titles that you can hold within each religion, and I think that in of itself is a huge mechanic in the game. It's insane how detailed they went with it. Of course, for the Pantheon with the gods that we have out right now, I mean, it's not I don't think that these are going to be all of the gods that we have, and of course there's going to be more and more lore as we get closer to the imminent release that is coming soon. But the reason that I wanted to highlight the Ancients now is because there was actually a clip released during the 24-hour live stream that the crew did over at Intrepid Studios and that clip actually was a video of like one of the Ancients, and I'm going to say it right now, that is extremely scary. I'm hoping that we can see these in some type of battle or some type of raid or something like that when we actually get into the game, because I'm telling you right now, that would be awesome to actually fight and see what kind of loot that drops and whatnot. And the next thing, I'm just going to go under here to the Ancients. So basically the others, that was the 3. They were the evil gods and the Ancients. They're the primary antagonists in the lore, and they defiled and perverted all of creation. The Ancients were imbued with all the traits like we saw before, which was the 4 parent races of Vera, and had the attributes spread across them. Let's see. According to the lore, King Atrex unwittingly alerted the Ancients to the location of Vera in his efforts to discover and exploit the essence, which is something that we see quite a lot here. Another really cool thing to look at here on the website is just this massive list of journal entries here. It's under the Harbingers, right? Under the Harbingers. And basically these journal entries just go through basically what happened whenever the Harbingers first arrived. And it's just insane to go through here and read. I haven't read all of it yet. I read just a little bit of it and it looked pretty crazy. So now we're going to get a little bit more into the races and whatnot, but this video is not going to be too long. I just really wanted to outline the importance of the ancients and what they would mean in the game. And then I wanted to go into the Pantheon a little bit and stuff like that. So we'll kind of get back onto that. So as you guys know, there are 6 primary religions within Ashes of Creation and then the Underrealm. So the Underrealm is also a rich environment where bioluminescent abounds the fauna, blah, blah, blah. It's like, look at this picture over here. That's pretty much what it is. Underrealm was estimated to be 100 kilometers squared in area. It's not a contiguous across the entire map. There will be areas that are obstructed by chasms or other features, so it's not going to be like the whole entire map, the under part of it. The location of Underrealm interests throughout the world is focused around natural geographic choke points that exist above ground. This provides alternate subterranean routes that can be used by caravans, raids, and other player activities. Not all entrances to the Underrealm will be open at the same time. These can shift dynamically based on node states that cause different routes to open up, which may be more or less advantageous than other routes. And this is insane, man. Like they have this whole entire map that's underneath the map that we'll be walking on a normal daily basis. And it's just crazy to think about how there's going to be people underneath you. I've never seen a game do that. I mean, as well as even having all the lore that this game has itself, like even with the Tolnar. They fled to the Underrealm, and they're basically just like a melting pot of the 4 major races. I would say that the Tolnar will probably be the closest thing to the ancients when it comes to a race standpoint. But man, I just think it's insane. So to wrap it up, I just think I wanted to bring this out onto the table. I wanted to tell you guys about the ancients. I wanted to go through the lore a little bit with you guys. This wasn't me really going in and preparing for the video prior to actually going through some of these pages and reading. I kind of wanted to see you guys get my first thoughts. Obviously, I'm stupid and a bad reader. I'm from Kentucky. But I really wanted you guys to get my first thoughts on how this lore looks to me, how it can affect the gameplay, and how it can really just bring a lot more to the table other than combat in a game, questing in a game, and progression. There's also going to be that sense of story underlining everything that you do in the game. It's going to make a lot of good things for RPers, different things like that. It's also pretty cool to think about, like, whenever we actually get into doing the raiding and stuff like that, when we get into doing the dungeons, are we going to be able to be fighting these creatures known as the ancients? There's so many questions that can be raised with even just the footage that they showed on the live stream, and that's really what I wanted to outline here. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video, me delving very, very lightly into the Pantheon of the gods and the ancients, and I hope you guys did enjoy. So make sure you go ahead and leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe, and if you want me to keep making videos, let me know down in the comments. Bye.